Felicia. It's hopeless for you.
She's not here, but I expect her very soon. Can I take a message?
No, thanks. I'm in the generator. I'll just drop by.
Okay. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Ruby.
What can I do for you? Maybe some breakfast?
No, thank you, but some coffee would be lovely. I was hoping to see Felicia.
She's not here. I expect her back shortly. Also, she just got a phone call. She's at the hospital with her grandmother. Mariah has to go back to Texas today.
Oh, that's a shame. Felicia must need her right now.
Yes, she really does.
Here they are. All right, now, Felicia, I'm going upstairs to pack, and I suggest you do the same thing. Hello? Oh, hello, Holly. I hear you have to go back. Yes, I do. And you too, Felicia?
Yes, Grandmother thinks it's best.
Do you have a minute before you pack?
Sure.
No? All right, then if you'll excuse me, I'll go ahead and get at it. Can I help you, Mariah? Oh, yes, please, Ruby. Come on.
Sure.
Do you really have to go back to Texas?
My grandmother thinks it's hopeless here.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute, if you don't mind, before you make this move.
Well, I don't really think there's anything to talk about, Holly.
Is this really what you want to do?
My grandmother thinks it's the only thing that I can do. I had some crazy ideas about staying here and trying to make amends, but I think it'll be doing everybody a favor if I just vanish and get out of everybody's hair.
I know that feeling, and it's not totally wrong, either.
And then you have it.
There was a time in my life when I had to make amends, too. It wasn't exactly the same situation as you, of course, but at the time, it felt as if all the odds were against me, and they were impossible to beat.
But you did it.
Yes, because it was just impossible for me not to.
That's the way I feel.
Do you think that you could ever get over Frisco?
No, I'll always love him.
No matter what? No matter how hard it is to live with that love?
No matter what.
Well, then, if that's how you really feel...
I do. I know it.
Then you mustn't give up.
What?
You've got to hang in there, no matter how hard it is for you.
Even if I've been made to feel that it's hopeless?
Yes. Even then. You know, if you really do love someone, I don't think there is any such word as hopeless.
I'm in a late shift to beef up security.
You really think there's going to be another attempt on his life?
As long as it keeps improving, it's the great danger.
Listen, I'm glad you put extra men around here, and Robert, I want you to know that I'm prepared to stay right at this spot. I won't move.
Well, thanks for the offer, Frisco, but we got men trained to do that, won't you? Just look after Tanya.
I think Tony would want you to do that.
Look, I'm just trying to work this out, that's all.
Yeah.
Tanya, how is he?
I saw the eye movement, and he's definitely got more color.
Oh.
Yeah. Robert, what is it? Is something wrong?
No, love. You know, just routine, checking things out.
I think it's time that I spoke my piece. Would you mind, please? Frisco, I want you to take Tanya home and let her get some rest, please.
Well, not just yet. I've got to go back in and visit Tony. I made him a promise. I said I'd be back in an hour.
All right, fine. May I ask you something? When was the last time you had something to eat?
To eat.
Yeah, eat. She hasn't had a decent breakfast, let's put it that way.
You know, my friend, you have got to take care of yourself.
She's right.
I'll take her down to the cafeteria to get something.
But you want to see Tony for a few minutes, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
All right, why don't you walk with us to the hub, please?
I'll be right down.
And Robert, thanks for looking after Tony.
You can be sure of it, love.
Well, I'd say this... Oh.
Dr. Palmer, do you have a minute?
Yes, what is it?
Is it possible to move Tony to another hospital? I'm suggesting a place in Buffalo. I'd like him out of Port Charles completely.
No, Mr. Scorpio, it wouldn't be safe to try to move him.
That's what I thought you'd say. Well, when?
Well, at the present rate of his progress, might be able to be moved in 5 or 6 days.
No sooner?
No.
So much for that bright idea.
No, if we can keep him safe for 5 or 6 days, your idea could work.
Strange, isn't it? When we should be celebrating Tony's improvement. In actual fact, we're worried sick about it.
Home with you, Grandmother.
Felicia,
My only chance for any kind of future is to stay right here in Port Charles and face the present.
But you agree that it was hopeless for you to be here in Port Charles.
Mariah,
What?
some of this is my doing.
But you caused her to change her mind?
No, she gave me hope.
Oh, Felicia, I haven't time now to talk to you about this
I'll be
anymore.
okay, really.
You know what you're up against.
Better than anyone.
All right.
I'm going to take you to the airport.
Oh, all right. Well, then we can talk about this some more on the way. Ruby, dear, thank you so much for looking after me and Felicia.
My pleasure. You come back here soon, you
Oh,
hear?
you're a dear. You're so kind. And Holly, please say goodbye to Robert for me, will you?
We're going to miss you, Mariah.
Oh, thank you, dear. And also, will you please tell Robert that if I hear anything more about Peter and his friends, that I'll get in touch.
All right, I'll tell him.
I'll be back.
I must say, your men have been doing all they can not to upset hospital routine.
Glad to hear it, and I'll pass the word.
Hi.
Ah, Amy.
I'm off to lunch.
Anything unusual happen on your shift this morning?
Well, not really. Just a bunch of cops rambling around. Anything else you want to know?
Not at the moment, thank you. As I recall, Amy talks a lot.
Oh, she's a trained nurse, Robert. She knows what's important and what's not.
Anything happening up here, Murphy?
I don't think so.
Good. Jesse, any new patients on the 10th?
No new admissions, but I kept a list of incoming phone calls.
How do the names check out?
Well, it may seem kind of silly, but there's one name I'd like you to take a look at. It's Leonard Harvey. He called, and he said that he'd been a patient of Tony's. And the minute I had a chance, which was about a minute ago, I called admissions and had them check, and there's no record of Tony's ever having a patient by that name.
I see.
I couldn't find it in the telephone book, and I tried information, nothing.
You get a sense of his age from his voice?
Well, it wasn't an old voice, but that's all I can be sure of, and I had the feeling that... I can't even be sure of that.
Tell me.
Well, I just had a feeling that he was putting on some kind of an act, and that's an awfully hard thing to pinpoint.
No, but it fits with the rest of it. I maintain that probably some of these other calls are phony as well. But at least you've pinned down one of them, and I appreciate that.
Right now, I'd do anything in the world for Tony.
I know. That's why we're all here.
What do you think?
First, Jesse Brewer is a very bright person. Secondly, somebody out there is worried about whether Tony lives or not.
Do you think it's that man named Peter that everybody's talking about?
I doubt it. He's on the run and with good cause.
It is.
It is what?
The man we were talking about.
Only good things, I hope. Robert, I have a bit of news. My contact reported that Peter was spotted in Rio.
What else?
Well, that's all we know. He seems to have disappeared down there.
It's a good place to disappear. It's a carnival part of the year and a circus for the rest of it.
Well, naturally, my man tried to pick up his trail.
Meanwhile, we have the chilling possibility on our hands that whoever shot Tony because he knew something may well try. You go to Brazil, I stay here and pound the beat. Between the two of us, we stave off the possibility of the ultimate disaster.
Whoa. Let's back up a minute here. You keep referring to Tony's assailant as though he was shot intentionally. I always thought it was an accident.
Well, we've had a new development.
What's that?
I got a report from forensics. Now, based on this information, I must conclude that Tony was deliberately shot.
Oh, I see. Any idea who it might have been?
No, or why? Holly and I have thrown several ideas around, but only one seems to make any sense.
What's that?
Tony had to be shot because of this treasure.
How would he know about that?
Peter could have told him.
Oh, it's highly unlikely, Robert.
Why?
Because there was no treasure to begin with.
As far as we know.
All right. For argument's sake, say there was. Now, I can't see Peter sharing this kind of a secret with a total stranger.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. However, what if Tony was told something that was a threat to this unknown assailant? Now, the guy could very well try again if he learns that Tony might pull through.
Was there any chance of Tony recovering?
Not much of one.
Oh, this whole thing is a disaster.
He's still in a deep coma.
Frisco's a basket case. I can't even imagine how Tanya is surviving this.
Yeah. All right, Robert, I'll tell you what. I'll go down to Brazil because there is not a thing I can do for Tony here. Of course, I can't guarantee I'll have any success down there either.
It's all right. I'll feel better knowing that you've just got matters in hand.
All right, I'll do the best I can, okay?
And listen, I'm very grateful, especially as I know this is going to be taking you away from personal business.
No problem. Knowing me, I'll probably touch base with a couple of pending deals I have down there anyway.
Okay. You, look out for yourself. I mean, as far as Peter's concerned. You know what happens when you corner a wounded animal.
Talking about wounded creatures, poor Felicia. And she still blames herself for everything.